Welcome back to the European World Championship Qualifier 2015 in Dublin, Ireland. I am joined again by Luke Withington,
Hey Rob.
who will be doing the strategy commentary.
We'll get that
Also,
in there.
we'll get the comedy in there as well.
Bit of dancing.
Now, this round we have got Gillian van Sande playing Infernoid, or Gillian, against Long Dow, who is playing your favourite deck.
Well, yeah, he's playing a variation of the deck we saw last round. People have been talking a lot about this, calling it Turbo Towers.
Turbo Towers.
It's all about summoning the Qliphort Towers.
And about the alliteration.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So we talked a lot about it last round, so I'm going to talk firstly a bit about Gillian's deck and Infernoids and the way that Infernoids work. So a lot of people are calling Infernoids the Dragon Rulers 2.0. Which is a bit strange, but so a lot of
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of banishing, lots of dumping everything into the graveyard.
Yeah, so all of the small Infernoid monsters can be special summoned from the hand by banishing one Infernoid monster from the graveyard, and all of the big Infernoid monsters can be special summoned from the hand or the graveyard by banishing two Infernoid monsters
Or
from
three,
the hand or graveyard.
if you're doing
Yeah.
Anunku or Deveity.
Yeah, the really, really big ones. I think they're like 10 stars or something crazy like that.
Kind of ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, so he's playing the Light Swan engine with it. Just the one Raiden, one Lila, one Eren. He's also playing Card Trooper, and two Charge of the Light Brigade.
Aaron, a pretty fantastic card,
Yeah,
realistically.
very good against the Jinlock.
Yes.
Yeah, which we've not actually seen much today.
No, actually, I don't think we've seen it once.
No.
No, it hasn't been played today at all. Well,
No.
it's probably been played.
Oh, well, yeah.
Just not on screen.
Somewhere downstairs.
Yeah.
We've been having all the games downstairs. So it's very interesting because this deck relies quite a lot on milling cards, using the Light Swan engine, or using Reasoning. So it's quite an old card, Reasoning. I used to play that in my Diamond Dude Turbo deck a very long time ago. So
Very long time ago?
Yeah, so it's a spell card, and you play it. Your opponent has to call a level, and then you keep milling cards until you keep sending cards from your deck to the graveyard. And when you find a monster that can be summoned,
Normal summoned.
Normal summoned, yeah. You can summon that card if they got the level wrong. If they got it right, then it
gets
goes straight to the
banished.
graveyard. Yeah. So that also.
Just adjusting the microphone there.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. So. Basically, that's all about the milling aspect, the sending the cards to the graveyard. And with the Infernoid monsters, because they can't be normal summoned, they just go straight past when they're getting hit by Reasoning.
Yeah, and basically just fills your graveyard. Now, he's also playing Spell
Yeah.
Canceller, which is a very, very nice card that I've not seen in forever. And
Yeah.
I've not actually seen played either
Yeah.
in a while. So it'd be nice actually for it to see play. Now, we had a quick chat about Turbo Towers. It's essentially the same kind of build that we saw in previous rounds.
Quite a lot more trap cards than
Quite a
previously.
few more trap cards. Now, we'll actually see it in action now because I believe our players are actually ready. So
Yeah,
if we could
let's
go
head
over
over
to the
the
table.
Oh, we said that at the same time.
Yeah.
That was cool.
We're in sync.
We are in sync. Well, we're almost in sync.
Yeah, almost in sync.
Here we
Yeah.
are. So Longdow piloting the Qliphort deck on the left.
Now, let's just quickly go through his hand. He's opened a Cephalopod, a Shell, a Stealth, a Wavering Eyes, and I believe that was a Mind Crush.
Yeah.
And
Immediately, he's using Wavering Eyes, this new card that we've been talking about today.
that's kind of ridiculous. And there's an Antra, a Saitsumas, Lila, and two Galaxy Cyclones in Gillian's deck. Now, let's see where Longdow is going with this. As you say, he's just used Wavering Eyes, which basically gives you several searches on your opening turn and sets you up completely ridiculously, doesn't it?
He's not even letting his opponent think about what's going on here. He's just... So he put both of those monsters that he opened with in his Pendulum Zones, played Wavering Eyes, which allowed him to search out the Scout, played Scout to get Monolith, Pendulum summoned those monsters, and then tributed them both for Stealth, which wants the Scout back to his hand for allowing him another search. Sorry I went through that a bit quickly, but
Yeah, it
moving
was
on
a
qu- we're
quick
moving
turn.
on quite quickly.
Yeah. Now, he has also now got his Recreate as well, so he's ready to just negate any effects that's happening.
Yep.
Now, he doesn't really know what Gillian is actually playing there.
So to boot here, we actually we see him draw two cards in the end phase because Monolith was there when he tributed those Clay monsters.
And I believe he's got another Wavering Eyes and a Mind Crush now down.
And that's fantastic.
Just gone from his hand there. Now, Galaxy Cyclone is now going to hit the field.
Yep. So we'll see
one
that.
of the new cards that have just come out. It can target a face-down card, and then you can banish it from your graveyard to target a face-up card. Really
Wow, so
quite good against...
Yeah, he's actually just played both copies of Galaxy Cyclone from his hand there, and those are the only copies he plays in his entire deck. That's actually really lucky considering he's playing against Qliphort, so he got really lucky there. So let's have a look at the rest of his hand here. So he's got Lila as well, absolutely fantastic.
So Scout's now gone. His options are very, very limited. Now, Gillian is still able to bring out that Sight's Mass if he really wants to there.
Yep.
He's actually ending the turn and allowing some cards to hit the graveyard with Lila. Long Dow sporting a Pot of Duality and another Wavering Eyes in his hand.
So we see him reading those cards, so he may not be too familiar with Infernoids. They're not that popular at the moment.
I disagree. They're very popular. It's just when you're coming to this level of play, you only expect to see the 6/7 meta decks.
Yeah? Yeah, well, some of these people have been taking this chance and going with these kind of less popular decks.
Now, it looks like there may have been a bit of an issue with the app because we are actually looking at, I believe that was... No, it was just the one Summoner's Art that was played there.
Yeah.
It did look like a second one under it, but that may have been the Wavering Eyes.
So he's counting up the levels of these Infernod monsters. So they actually have another restriction that I didn't tell you about. When they are summoned, the prerequisite to them activating their effects is that the number of levels of monsters on the field is less than 8, or equal to 8.
Yes.
So they are quite restricted to the monsters they can summon. But it's really cool because they use cards that don't have effects, which is part of that. So it's only effect monsters which get their levels counted. So you can play the likes of Gemknight Pearl or Scrap Archfiend, very, very old synchro card, which are normal monsters, even though they are the Exceed and their synchro monsters, which allows you to summon more and more Infernoids.
Now, Stealth has just taken out the Lila there.
Yep.
We're looking at a Wavering Eyes, a lose 1 turn, a Qliphort Scout, and a Climate Change in hand. All 3 are now being set.
Yep.
So, opponent's turn.
Yeah, so let's see what he can do here. So his graveyard's reasonably filled up with stuff. So he might be able to do some stuff from the graveyard. Get some special summons in the go.
Oh, and he's got his Attendel as well. Attendel can actually attack twice. And also can tribute a monster in either player's turn to banish a card from the graveyard.
Yeah. So another cool effect of the Infernod monsters. All of the very small Infernod monsters contribute themselves during their opponent's turn. During your opponent's turn to banish a card from their graveyard. The big Infernod monsters can tribute any monster to banish a card during either player's turn. And the even bigger Infernod monsters, the Deveity and the Arnunku, can be used in either player's turn as well to negate monster effects and spell and trap effects.
Okay, so he's tributing, I believe that was Pyramas.
Pyramas, yeah.
Which can bounce face-down cards, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so what he did here, he targeted the face-down card with Pyramas and then used a Tondel to tribute it so that it was off the field and unaffected by that lose 1 turn. I was unsure if that worked. I'm pretty sure that it would still be negated by lose 1 turn. But it looks like that's going through. So, yeah, okay. So the Tondel's just sat in defense mode now.
Doesn't have an effect.
Nope, it's kind of just sat doing nothing there, but it's defending its life points currently, so...
Now, Attendel actually has 0 defense as well.
Yeah, not much use.
No, but Sisymas is in there as well.
Yeah.
And I believe it can come out because Attendel is at a level 8.
Yep, very much so.
That's where he wants to do it. Sisymas, very, very powerful card. If it attacks at the end of the battle phase, if it's still alive, it banishes a card on your opponent's side of the field.
Yeah, very powerful.
Now, looking at Longdow's hand, we've got a Qliphort Shell, a Scout, and a Cephalopod.
Yeah, that Scout was added by Wavering Eyes, by the looks of it.
I think he's just explaining an effect there.
Yeah.
As to why it did what it did.
Yeah.
It looks like he may have activated the effect and then tributed it as the quick effect.
I think that's what he was trying to do, but I'm unsure whether that works with lose 1 turn, but we'll
well, isn't lose 1 turn just like Skill Drain that it's if it activates when it's in the graveyard? Because it can still activate its effect.
It doesn't activate in the graveyard, it does activate on the field. It's similar to Effect Veil more than Skill Drain. But anyway, we'll continue as we are here. So we can see that Longdow's just thinking about this next move here. And he seems to have drawn a Qliphort Carrier.
So he's got a pretty big hand.
Yeah. Looks like we've again
Let's
got
look
2
at
of
his
them
scales. He's got 9, a 9, a 9, and
there's
a
a
1.
1.
He has 2 carriers, so he has got the potential to be able to Pendulum Zone. Of course, he's got his Scout to be able to do that as well.
So we can go get a monolith here. He's playing 2 monoliths. Let's have a quick check. See, yeah, so he's playing 2 monoliths, so he could go and get that as well.
Pendulum Summon, then Tribute Summon, and attack.
Yeah, so he's the one that's on lower life points here, but Gillian still got a full 7,000 life points. And losing turns on the field, which means if Longdow decides to tribute all those monsters, to Pendulum Summon them all, sorry, that...
And there is exactly the namesake of the deck.
Yeah, so here's a Qliphort Towers.
Longdow has got his towers.
Yeah, so it has many, many effects. The first one being that it's unaffected by spell and trap cards. Well,
you don't.
Okay.
As soon as it hits the field, unfortunately, it's unaffected by monster effects to the level lower than it, and it's infected by spell and trap cards. It has a huge attack. Unfortunately, which I don't believe anything in Gillian's deck actually can beat. There is no way that he can actually defeat it.
No, I don't think there's any card whatsoever that can get rid of that.
He has no card that's bigger than it.
Nope.
Not even in his side deck.
No.
Interestingly, he is running Gem Knight Pearl in his side deck there, which is a normal Xyz monster, meaning that he can bring out big monsters and bring out more big monsters.
Yeah, so that
nice.
and the Scrap Archfiend are the 2 normal monsters that you usually play in the extra deck of this deck. So let's have a quick look at the side decks of these 2 players. So what are they going to be putting in here?
Right, so Gillian has a Chaos Hunter, 3 Mystical Space Typhoons. He's got Mistake, which would kind of mess with the whole Qliphort's ethics of searching.
Yeah.
Malevolent Catastrophe. That's actually quite nice to get rid of the Pendulum Zones.
Yeah, and the other spell and trap cards.
Now, Spell Canceller.
Yeah, very interesting.
Spell cards can't be activated.
Yeah, so
which means that there would be no way to get out his pendulums.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So the reason this deck plays Spell Canceller is because all you have to do is summon one of your Infernoid monsters, and then you contribute it for Spell Canceller. The only shame with playing Spell Canceller in this particular matchup is that all of the Qliphort monsters can just be normal summoned and attack into Spell Canceller, but if he has some defense for it, then it could do really well.
If I remember correctly, Spell Canceller has 2,300 defense as well. So
Yeah.
if he can get it out, protect it, and then put it in defense, he's got a very good chance.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has bigger defense than it has attack points.
Now, let's have a look over at Longdow.
Yeah, so he's actually side decking quite a lot of things that we saw in the previous matchup. So he's got a load more of the Qliphort monsters: 2 shell, 2 disc, 1 monolith, 2 cephalopods, and then he's gone into the 3 into the void, and he's got 2 Performapal Trampolinics as well.
Now, interesting. I mean, he knows that he's going up against a deck that can be much quicker than his.
Yeah.
Is he going to go into the voids?
We may see Longdow just put these into the voids in, put the Trampolinics in, and just try and really use this namesake of Turbo Towers and try and get it out as soon as possible. So looks like we're just having some discussions while side decking now. So we'll see what they decide to side deck.
Now, as far as I'm aware, Ryan, our Be Mutton Chopped app master, does actually know Gillian quite well as well, because they are both from Belgium.
Yeah, so they may just be having a quick chat about that.
Yeah, so of course he's not really talking about the deck or anything, but he kind of brought it to our attention that there was an Infernoid player that was going X1, so
yeah.
it was quite nice to see, he's doing really well. And then he was against Longdow,
yeah, that
of all people, so it was just
chance.
all fell into place.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to see what happens here. Longdow might just switch over into this seemingly really turbo kind of build of Qliphorts and see where we go from there. So the idea behind turbo builds is that you just have one goal in your deck and just absolutely play lots of cards that will get you to that goal really quickly, and especially with Into the Void. So that's a card that we've not had much of a chance to show on the stream yet, because it's just gone straight to the graveyard each time. But it allows you to draw 1 card whenever you have 4 or more cards in your hand, and then at the end of the turn, you have to discard your whole hand.
So would you say that Turbo Towers is definitely a glass cannon, in that if it fires off,
definitely.
it definitely fires off, but if it doesn't, it breaks?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. It very much seems to be summon towers or don't do very well. So in the difference here between Long Dow's deck list and Marcelo's that we saw last round, Long Dow does seem to be playing a more kind of reasonably normal version of Qliphort's in the main deck, but then in the side deck, it actually, yeah. So that's, you know, it's kind of a strange way of looking at it, but he's playing 3 Wavering Eyes in the main, and 3 Pot of Duality in the main as well. So he might not necessarily be looking for a turn 1 towers in the first few in the first game, but in the second and third games, he might be side decking out those Pot of Dualities and putting into the voids in to try and speed up that summoning of towers.
Now he is, I should say, running a lot of traps there as well. Does that mean we think we might see a Royal Decree jump in on the Infernoid side?
Yeah, oh, definitely. I think it'd be silly for him not to, but if Long Dao decides to switch to this build where he just tries to get towers out as soon as possible, he might be taking a lot of these trap cards out. Might be just be keeping some core ones in, like Climate Change, Vanity's Emptiness, Recreate, Skill Drain, all of the nice one-offs.
And then just going straight into as fast as he can possibly go. Now it looks like we're going.
Yeah, we're going into the next game.
There's the handshake.
Yeah. Nice
and
bit
let's
of
see what's in the hand.
Sportsmanship there.
Of course.
As always.
Yes. You definitely want to be sportsmanlike.
Yeah.
With so many people watching.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be like really rude or anything if I had a few thousand people watching me at any one time.
Yeah. That's a good point. We always see the handshake at the end, don't we? Don't we? Yeah.
It's like if I'm sportsmanlike and I don't come off as kind of like really rude or anything, you know.
It's the best place for it.
Yeah.
It's the best fit for it.
Now, looking at Gillian's hand, we've got an Antra, a Harmodic, a Reasoning, Monster Gate, and a Barrel from a different dimension. Long Dao is starting with Carrier Monolith, Into the Void, Wavering Eyes, and he's just played that Summoner's Art there.
Wow.
Which is going to be, of course, getting him his Scout.
I think Long Dao has towers here, by the looks of it. He can play Scout, get Monolith. Play Scout, get Monolith, or any other Qliphort monster, play Wavering Eyes, get another Scout, get another Qliphort monster, which will be the towers, then Pendulum Summon all of the cards in his hand, and then tribute them for towers. I think that's a possibility. I may have just been going crazy
ahead
then.
Of yourself?
I may have been. Let's
see if Long Dao sees it.
Yeah, earlier Ollie was calling me a fortune teller. I don't know what was going on there, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. If we look at Gillian's hand, actually, this hand is really, really good for an Infernoid player. Reasoning's actually a very, very powerful card. We were talking about that earlier. And Monster Gate is the same thing, but your opponent doesn't call any levels or anything.
Yes, so it's literally just, you have to tribute a monster to use it, though.
Yeah.
That's the major difference.
Yeah.
Which is quite easy when you're playing a deck that just special summons random things. Now, here you go. You've telegraphed it perfectly there.
Yeah, so
there's the towers. He's going straight for it. He sees exactly what you see.
Yeah.
And there's the second Scout.
Yeah, so I think Scout Monolith, possibly. He's going to get the second Monolith because he had another one in hand. Or he didn't use that Monolith. He used the Carrier instead in the first set of Pendulum Summons, Pendulum Scales. Sorry. So yeah, he still has a Stealth in hand. So he's
got a Climate Change by the look of it.
It was Recreate, and then he's going to be able to Pendulum Summon 3 from his hand, and then tribute them all for towers and
turn 1. Yeah. Now is Gillian actually just going to scoop here?
Yeah, I think he just.
Would he try and see if he could do anything against that? Because I literally cannot see anything in here.
There's nothing. There's nothing at all.
It's 3,000 attack his towers, isn't
it? Yeah, it also makes it so that all of your opponent's special summon monsters lose 500 attack and 100 defense. So yeah, that's. Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is exactly what we were expecting to see from this deck.
Yep, and it's just done it immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was a Climate Change.
Oh, it was Climate Change.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
He's done it so that he can probably get his towers back.
Yeah.
If it does go.
To do it again.
Yeah. If it happens. Now here comes the. Ooh, and he's called it, and Lila is now out, and he's going to get rid of the Climate Change. Long Dow's obviously just going to.
There's no reason not to play Climate Change there.
Just get it straight into hand.
You can always Pendulum Summon from hand. So, yeah. So we see that Lila's use, and then straight into Monster Gate. Let's see where that takes us.
Devaity is rather annoying, however, so we'll see if it comes down. He's got a lot of cards to stop Devaity from being destroyed.
We're just keeping on going here, Rob.
Yeah. There goes the deck. Does he have another? Aaron or Raiden is his card trooper is the only other target. He is going all out. He's still going.
Okay,
Oh,
so
and there's another Lila.
right. Okay, so if Gillian here can see something that we can't, he's got it in his graveyard, ready to
Yes.
go.
Yes, he has.
So, yeah, let's see what he can do here, because
And there's Longdow just going, let me just check what's
yeah,
in there.
it's time to read the Infernoid novel that
Yes,
is
it's the graveyard.
Gillian's hand, graveyard even.
I'm looking at Longdow's hand. There's not exactly a lack of cards in there.
No, well, he just played that climate change, so yeah, I mean that doesn't.
Stuff in, which is interesting when you've got a Deity in graveyard.
Yeah, makes no real difference there, because he just climate changed back all those cards.
And I think that's Deity that he's played, although it looks like one of the
Yeah, it does look like one of the
normal ones. Let's have a look.
one of the common
'Cause,
cards.
of course, we don't have the graveyard on here, otherwise we'd be here all day.
We wouldn't have
Just
space.
scrolling down very, very slowly.
Yeah.
So let's see what it is that he has played when it loads up. Could be a Sights Mass. In which case, I don't know if he doesn't know that that won't affect it.
So he's overlaying here. He's going to be able
Sights
to.
Mass.
He's going to be able to make a rank 7 monster.
And he's played.
That's Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack.
Oh, okay.
So that's going
So
to summon 2 tokens.
he's just having a go at a stall, I guess. Oh.
Yeah.
Judge is like, yeah, please play those in separate zones.
Yeah.
He's left his extra deck face up there.
Yeah. That's shouldn't be loud, but we'll probably catch it in a few seconds. So I don't know where he's going with this, to be honest. He may see something that we don't. So I think that is one of the level 10s.
It's an Unku.
I don't
What level is towers?
I don't understand how he's managed to kill towers here.
They're both level 10.
They are both level 10.
So an Unku immediately destroys it.
Okay, wow, I wasn't... Yeah, I completely forgot about that. So
He actually has a good matchup against Turbo Towers.
Yeah. Wow, okay. So that's how he deals with that.
Yeah. So why did he stop? Like, he could have possibly won last game, surely, if he'd have got the Anunku.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. Wow, okay. Well, that's a strange turn of events.
Wow,
yeah,
and long down now on 800 life points. So he could still get one Scout Search.
He'd be dead if he decided to pay for that Scout Search.
Yeah. As I said, it's fine as long as you don't have 0 until you paid the cost. Can you pay a cost? You can't pay a cost.
You can't pay a
until
cost if you
zero,
don't
no.
have it.
No.
But we'll see what Long Dow does here. I mean, that just blew me away. I completely forgot that had the same number of levels as Towers. I thought Towers was like 11.
And also, it can negate, I believe it's monster effect.
Yeah, that one's...
Oh, no, it's spell and trap cards.
Is that one spell and traps?
I believe. Let's have a look.
Let's have a look. Let's get this on the stream.
And the tiny, tiny text.
Yeah.
That's tiny. I can't see it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that text is really tiny. You guys can probably read it at home, but we can't read it. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
it's spell and trap.
It's spell and trap.
So it's tributed itself to stop it. And now Anunku is available to come out next turn. So it doesn't really matter what he does.
Yeah, and...
Wow, so here is why Gillian has actually come to where he is now.
Yeah. But here we see he's able to complete a pendulum scale here. He might be able to put a lot of defensive monsters on the board.
Stealth, 2 stealths in hand and a carrier, and there is the Wavering Eyes as well.
Yeah, but in all honesty, I don't think it's Mars, because he's just going to be able to summon the
Is there any level 4 Infernod monsters?
Yeah, but they can only be summoned from hand.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so
Oh, it's a Harmodic, I believe, is it not?
Harmodic's
No,
level
that was
3.
3.
Yeah, there is... Let's have a look here. We've got Petrulia is level 4. And then I think that's
Is
it.
Petrulia not level 3? Because it's the opposite to Harmodic.
Petrulia level 3. I think Petrulia is level...
Antry's level 2. Permace is level 1.
Yeah, I think Petrulia is level 4 because Harmodic's level 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. So, yes, we see here...
We digress.
Yes, we digress. We see here... Long Dow's really thinking about this. He's kind of struggling here. He wasn't expecting his turbo towers to be turboed right into the graveyard.
Yeah, I mean it's something. I just don't know if he's not gone up against many Infernoid or.
Yeah, possibly.
What?
I mean, we didn't see that monster get put in the graveyard either. So maybe he just didn't see that monster be put in the graveyard either.
Well, there's more than likely 2 stealth going to come out this turn. So stealth carrier,
Yeah,
bouncing cards.
Bounce those two.
Well, that may have been a helix that just went. And that's not enough attack to win.
But
Oh, actually it is.
Is that enough?
It's 2-8, 2-8, 2-4.
Yeah, no, he pendulum summoned some of those stuffs.
No, he just tributed. Oh, no, he tributed for one, so that's 2-8, 1-8,
That's
2-4.
5 to 6,000 in total. But he can also he can exceed summon here because he doesn't have any Qliphort monsters in his pendulum zone, so he could exceed summon into I think rank 8. Sorry.
Well,
so
one of them will be level 4.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
No, there's no exceeds going.
Yeah.
Well,
Cephalopod
come
here.
back down. Wavering Eyes.
That inflicts 500.
Yes, it does. But that's still not a game. That's still 1,000 off, is it not?
Yeah, it is. Unless our calculations are out here.
What does Cephalopod do when it's tributed?
I'm trying to remember what Cephalopod does. I'm pretty sure it's something like when it's summoned. Oh, okay. So he must have had enough there. Ah, okay. Yeah. Disc increases the attack points of all of his monsters
By 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
correct.
that must have been enough.
But wow, Gillian coming back.
Yeah.
That was really, really good.
Yeah, we weren't expecting that at all.
No, I've completely forgot that it was a level 10. And yes, we can actually see on the table, you guys can't see that he did put his spell cancellers in there. He's just very publicly unsiding, and he put in another Lila.
Yeah, that was expected.
Those were the 3. And he's just
nice
flipped them face down because he's realised maybe...
There's a Mystical Space Typhoon.
Yeah.
Another Mystical Space Typhoon. And there's a third.
Yeah.
So
lots of spell and trap removal and negation that he popped in there. But still, Longdow, absolutely fantastic win.
That just showed that
exactly what Turbo Towers
Turbo Towers was supposed to do. Last round we were a bit disappointed. I was really sad that we didn't get to see it make this really large combo work. But this time round we got to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic.
That's amazing. There's not much else to be said about that.
Not really.
We were a bit shocked at the fact that we'd not seen that monster go to the graveyard off reasoning. Well, I mean, off Monster Gate. Sorry, he did send a lot of cards to the graveyard. So
yeah,
I just can't wait to talk to Longdow about this and talk about his choices. So we're gonna get an interview with him after this, aren't we?
I will be back with an interview with Longdow. We should be back after that. We'll be having a quick highlight reel of what's going on, and I believe Matt Bell will be joining you.
Yeah, he will.
And then we'll be back with the next round. See you soon.
Yeah.